dreams, and it's something that we should all embrace, because the possibilities are endless. I believe that so much. The possibilities are endless. The way our world is organized, it's with endless possibilities. And when we can see that, it's easy for us to maximize the opportunities that come our way. So today we're still going to be sharing on those opportunities as well, and see how we can position ourselves in our career, concerning our family. I've got Esther, the founder of Esther A Coaching, on the platform today, and she would be talking to us on don't believe small when it comes to your career. That's the plan today. So the entire theme of our discussions today is don't believe small. There is something about smallness. It doesn't help anybody. Your smallness is not helping you. Your smallness is not helping your family. Your smallness is not helping people around you. You need to desire to be big, doing big things, achieving big feats, because that's what you're created for. That's what you can actually become. The possibilities are endless. And I love this quote that, our greatness sometimes can scare us. And that's what happens sometimes. It's not that we do not know that we've got the ability to do big things, but we become scared of what we can be. So today we want to let go of those limits and just go for it. It's going to be awesome. So thank you all so much for joining. Thank you so much for everyone that has stayed with myself throughout this year in terms of my platform, the things I've been posting on Facebook and everything. And I'm just going to share the slides that we have to work on today. So very quickly, just to let you know, you are here because we believe strongly that you have control over your destiny. We believe that you have control over destiny. In fact, each one of us, God has given us, each one, every human being created, we have an unchallengeable right over our minds. And when you are in control of your mind, it doesn't even matter. If you put a man in prison physically, you cannot imprison his mind if he desires to just go free in his mind. That's amazing, isn't it? The mind is the place of true freedom. And you are here because you have control over your destiny. And also because I believe that success is predictable. There is something about the predictability of success that if you follow certain processes, it's like the law of gravity. If you abide by that law, you will get the result. And that's the way it works. That's the way our world was designed, to have cause and effect. So you can predict success. It has a great, there's a great measure of predictability to it when you engage the right processes. And that's why if it's not predictable, then there's no point trying to do what we're doing. There's no point trying to learn. Some people say what will be, will be. I hate that statement with a passion. Why? Because if what will be, then you should not get up to this morning. You should just stay in your bed and expect your breakfast to locate you. If what will be, you should not even attend this program, because then what's the point of knowing something more if what will just be? No, you are the one to make it be. Okay? And the third thing is because you have hope. Yes, 2021 might have been a very great year for you, but yes, 2022 could even be better. And we look forward with hope. And I say hope is a good thing. Hope is always a good thing. So that's why we're here today. So we're going to be looking at the Great Exodus. I'm going to talk about that on this topic of not believing small. Remember, our theme is not believing small. We're going to be talking about the Great Exodus using an analogy from my favorite book, the Bible, the Great Exodus. Then we're going to be talking about getting rid of career mediocrity. That would be by Esther, and my own beloved wife, the Mrs. O herself, would be talking about how your family needs big thinking. How your family needs big thinking. So a very quick understanding about myself. I am the founder of Change with Thoughts. That's a nice picture I've got there, isn't it? Cool. I am the founder of Change with Thoughts. And what we do at Change with Thoughts, we are a coaching company. And what we do is to help people increase their chances for success, because we believe that people's lives change when their thinking changes. People's lives change only when their thinking changes. You will be transformed, you'll be changed by the renewing of your mind. And it is thoughts that renew our minds. It is new information, new ways of thinking, new patterns of thinking. Someone who has been thinking, you know what, I can only have one, is now thinking, why can't I have 1,000? If anyone can succeed, why not me? If I apply for a job and you're going to choose just one person, why do I think that one person will not be me? Why not me? Why can't I be the person? So that's the kind of thinking we try and give people at our coaching company, and we focus on three main things, which I would explain later. But I would just encourage everybody to please, if you can do so, please follow my channel on YouTube, because we've got some videos on there just to encourage and to motivate. And also we've got some plans for the new year as well to kind of help you stay disciplined with your goals, stay disciplined with your with your focus for the year, and we can keep you updated. We keep you updated with whatever programs we've got coming. So please, I would love that if you do nothing after this program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Cool. So let me get straight into it. I'm going to spend some time on this, and then I'm going to bring up Esther to tell us some things about career. Esther is a great careers coach. And she does big things. She does big things, and I'm going to be talking about that shortly. So let's start. The Great Exodus. There is a story in Scripture which so many of us on this platform might be familiar with, and that's the story of the Israelites leaving Egypt. They were leaving a place where they were enslaved for a number of years, over 400 years. They were in captivity, so to speak, and they wanted to go. They desired it. People talked about it. You know, it came to a point where they began to say, you know what, this is too much for us now. We want to just move on. So there was a desire for freedom. Now, with a desire for freedom, there's also a price to pay for freedom, as well as the responsibility freedom confers. So I'm going to talk about the desire for freedom. Now I'm going to use that analogy of the movement of the Israelites. Exodus just meant movement. The movement of the Israelites from where they were in captivity to where they desired to go through, even the promised land. So we're going to talk about the desire for freedom, the price of freedom, and the responsibility of freedom. And how does that apply to believing small? And we would see that as we go along. So I want you to look at the picture you see on here. Hopefully you can see my slides clearly. Now, I saw this post, and on my group with my close friends, we call ourselves the God Lovers. One of our friends posted that on there and then said, you know what, look at these two lions. And it's a meme, if you Google it as well. It's a popular meme out there. One of these lions has security, free shelter, free food, free medical care. The other lion has no assurances. Everything about his quality of life is his own responsibility. And the question is, which lion would you choose to be? If you were a lion, which one would you choose to be? Now, you can use the chat box and say one or two, you know, and there's no right or wrong answer. You may have your deep philosophical reason for wanting it to be whichever. And I would really love to get some what's it called in the chat. If you can just put one or two, that would be good. Just for me to get a sense of what's going on. Now, the idea is, I then mentioned on that group of God lovers to say, you know what, I would love to be the second one. Yes, the second one. Thank you. I would love to be the second one. Why? Because of the prospect of freedom. Because of the prospect of freedom. Yes, freedom has responsibilities. Freedom has a price. But I am willing to just go for it rather than just settle for less. Because that is just me. That is the desire you should have for life. There is no point settling for less. And that's why believing small should not be a priority for you in 2022. There is no point. If you can do 10, the fact that you can do 10 is also enough proof that, yes, perhaps 100 is possible. Perhaps 1,000 is possible. Who says it is not? And I love this famous quote by one of the greatest persons who ever walked this earth. He said, all things are possible to him who believes. All things are possible to him who believes. Think about that statement for 1 second. All things are possible to the person, to the guy, to the man, to the woman, to the boy or girl who believes. Because when you believe, there is actually no limitations. Because your mind can actually be free. You can actually see possibilities. You're not asking, oh, I cannot afford it. You're not saying I cannot afford it. You are asking yourself, how can I afford it? And this is one thing I always tell my little kids. Say, you know what? Things are not expensive. You only have people who cannot afford them. Things are not expensive. You only have people who cannot afford them. So never complain that something is too expensive. Grow your capacity to be able to afford it. Now, do not settle for less. Okay, so the desire for freedom then. Mr. Yale said, to achieve anything, you need a burning desire. The default of life is to keep people in not so ideal situations. Life, people go like, oh, I've really suffered a lot, so I should enjoy. Life doesn't care. Life doesn't care the kind of conditions you were born into. Life doesn't care. Life's default is chaos. You need to be disciplined to bring order into your life. You don't just have order just like that. It has to be a coordinated, concerted effort. I often say that you don't need a plan to build a shanty or to build a slum. You need a plan to build a very desirable estate. So life's default is to keep people in not so ideal situations. And that's why we don't have to get into the settled mode when we should be moving forward. So using the analogy of the Exodus of the Israelites from Egypt, others could have said, you know what, let's settle here. We've got food to eat. At least our masters, they give us food, even though we work, even though we have no control over our own lives, but they give us food. They give us shelter. They're not killing us. We don't know what's out there, so let's stay here. Because you do not know what's out there, it's not enough reason to stay where you are. That you do not know what is out there is not enough reason to stay where you are. So a burning desire to free yourself from all limits should really be the thing that moves you on. Okay, so to catch a desire, I have just put on here to say, see what others have done. See what others have done. So if you want to catch a fresh desire for the new year, a meeting like this is something that can help you, where iron is sharpening iron. We're rubbing minds together. We're learning from people. You are seeing what can be done. You are seeing what others have done. So if you want to go to the moon, you can say, you know what, because I have seen someone has done this, I can even desire to do better. I can go to Mars. Because I see now that people can travel in space, I can desire to build my own rocket company. So sometimes those things help you to, those things that you see fuel your desire to want more. So I would encourage that in the new year. Go on YouTube, even if you can travel out of your country, travel on YouTube and see what other people have done. See what they have done in certain environments and what you can adapt into your own environment. Have that desire for something more. Catch a new dream and develop inspiring relationships. One thing relationships do to us is to help us to desire more, to come out of that shell and to be more. And this is so important. I love that comment. I'm already feeling the fire. Thank you so much. The idea is develop those inspiring relationships in the new year. Just desire. There is nothing that beats desire. When a man desires to be free, when a man desires to just be all that they knew they were created to be, I tell you, nothing can hold them down. Not even death, because they will still be speaking after they are gone. Strong desire. So that's the desire for freedom. You must desire to free yourself. Now, I'm going to talk about the price of freedom. I'm going to be calling on Esther shortly, and she will talk on the career side of things, and then we'll come back. The price of freedom. The price of freedom may be high, someone says, but never so costly as the loss of freedom. Now, I am emphasizing so much on freedom today because there is so much in our world that conspires to limit us. You get into a job and you feel as though you're stuck, and it's like, come on, I can't move away from here. I was sharing on Sunday at our church, and I said something about the fact that, I was walking at a place, and then there was this other guy who I met there, and he would complain about the place, complain and complain and complain. And then I thought to myself, if you hate this job so much, just leave this space. You are not a tree. A tree is the one that's planted. In fact, they can move certain trees and plant them somewhere else. So you're much better than a tree. You're not just fixated in one place. Move if you don't like it. And guess what? I left that place of employment. And years later, maybe about 2 years or 3 years, when I came back, the guy was still there. And I thought to myself, I met you here. I left you here. No disrespect, but you kept on complaining when I was here. I just hope he's changed. And what really causes that is the invisible scripts or belief systems that people have. So sometimes we have embraced some belief systems from society that says this is the limit at which you can go. It could be in the family setup, where in the family, no one has ever gone above a particular threshold. And then there's a ceiling, and then you internalize that and think, this is all I can be. No, that's not all you can be. You know this already, but invisible scripts that control us, that guide our dealings, should be dealt with, should be changed. And how do we do that? We unlearn. We take time out. I love it when I do this. In fact, because there is so much in our environment that seeks to pollute us. You ask yourself those questions to say, you know what? Why am I here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why can't I be better? Those are questions that will challenge your mind to think differently. You are unlearning the way you've been thinking. You are then relearning new patterns to say, you know what? If I've been thinking, because people get to a particular age and they fall sick, and that's something that's common. And I'm just citing that as an example in terms of your health goals, for instance. Some people just expect that when they are 60 or 70, that they will begin to get demented or lose their minds or whatever. Why should that be you? There's some people who live well and they don't have that. As he thinks in his heart, so is he. So can I get new thinking patterns now? Can I get new thoughts flowing through my mind? And this process requires humility and submission to the process. Now, you are looking at what you're going through, and then you're saying, you know what? I've got this new way of thinking that's not just right. This new way of thinking that has brought me to this level will not take me beyond this level, because we changed, like I mentioned before, we change based on the change we get in our thinking. So if your thought processes are not changing, if you are not thinking of new things, I tell you, you'll be stuck. I remember the visit we had to the US, my wife and myself, and I saw certain things in a different way. Honestly, I look at the UK and I compare that to the US in certain matters when it comes to finances and things like that. And I'm like, you know what? No way I'm going to be thinking small. That visit left an indelible imprint upon my mind to say, you know what, if people can achieve this here, why can't I do it where I am living? So that helped me to then begin to see different, to say, you know what, I can live in a bigger house. I can drive a bigger car. I can do big things. Yes, I'm talking about material things now, but I tell you, these things are not evil. Until we desire, until we're ready to pay the price to change the thinking processes, we do not change. And this requires humility and submission to the process. If you find someone in your corner who knows what they are talking about, submit yourself to the process of learning from them. I was teaching someone how to write, and I began to tell them, don't do this. Do this. Yes, I know you have your own way. You have, see, I have written a book. I write articles almost every 2 days. And these articles are spiritual in nature. They help people grow and they help people improve. But if I'm telling you how to do it, it pays to listen to me because I do it and it gets results. I get results from it. So if you are starting out, just listen to it, and then you can then modify the process when you learn it to your own conditions, and it will pay you. But if you argue with me, you will not know it. Just like I don't argue with the pilot when I get on the plane. If the pilot says, now put your seatbelt on, I put my seatbelt on. Why? Because he knows what he's talking about. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into turbulence now. Some things are happening. I recommend you sit down, do not go to the toilet. I sit down. Why? Because if something shakes, I've watched some movies where accidents happen because there was a turbulence and someone was in the toilet and then they hit their head on something and then they die. I don't want to. So I just sit there because the pilot knows what he's talking about. So what am I trying to say? The price of freedom requires us to be humble enough and to submit ourselves to the process required. I will be coming back. I'll take my break now, and I would ask my beloved Esther A. Coaching, she's the founder of Esther A. Coaching. Esther, she's a personal development and careers coach, and she does a lot in the career space. She's got a roadshow happening in the new year as well, and she's going to be talking with us about career and how not to believe small for your career. And Esther, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Coach David. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Honestly, right now, my head is just like, boof, boof, boof. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to be here as well. And thank you all for joining. The festive period, we're supposed to be spending it with family. But just like the coach said, you need a plan to build a desirable state. And this is part of the plan. You being here today, you need to plan into the new year, right? We want to get out of that bucket, out of that pile of people that set new year goals and they never achieve it. And then in December, they're down, they're moody, they're wallowing because they never achieved it. But when you move with the right people, you have the right people in your corner, like I said, you will excel and you will be able to dream even bigger than you're currently dreaming. Okay, great stuff. Do I have the opportunity to share my slides now? Let me just share it. All right, fantastic.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that's it. All right, great. And slideshow. All right, great stuff. As you all know, we're talking about don't believe small in whatever it is. And I feel a bit bad because the coach already made me create a slide. I feel like from everything he's been saying and be talking about as well, I can literally just bring out career related matters from it because everything is connected. Everything is connected. He mentioned the belief system. Your belief system will make you either succeed or fail in your career as well as in your family life. He mentioned material things are evil. Do you know what? Actually, coach, those people that find themselves in the category of thinking material things are evil are those that really, really want it. They desire to have it, but they actually don't know how to get it. So they envy those that actually want it. Seriously. I love my big cars. And I've got a Congolese friend that says Nigerians and their big cars. Yes, it's got to be big. How do you see me if my car isn't big? How do you see me? How do you know I'm successful if my house isn't big enough? Do you understand that kind of thing? So exactly, those that really want it secretly are the ones that complain about material things being evil. And as children of God as well, He created all these things. It would never exist if He didn't want us to have it. And as a child of God, I'm supposed to be treated like king, like a queen, very special. I deserve every good thing life has got to offer. And that's exactly how you should be thinking, your belief system. And then, the coach said again, are you coachable? That's another question. Are you coachable? Whatever you want to do in life, those big things you want to buy, you want to achieve, the dreams, the goals, are you coachable? Don't believe small. Say no to mediocre career goals. That's what we're going to be talking about today. But before then, let me introduce myself. The coach already did justice to it, but I'd like to introduce myself. I'm passionate about it. A lot of my clients, both personal development and career coaching, they know I love doing this because many years ago, yes, many years ago, I found myself in a situation where I could not introduce myself. I wanted to set the time because I'm a talker, you see, guys, and the coach gave me a specific time to be here. So let me just stop this quickly and time myself because I can go on all day, you see. This is my passion talking. All right, good stuff. So I found myself in a situation where I could not introduce myself. I'm in between, and then you start to mutter words. You can't even speak because you've not been able to find yourself. But now I don't do that anymore because I'm so proud about me. I've got a brag sheet about myself. I know we Africans, we colored people, we are brought up, we are wired in a way that we are supposed to be humble when it comes to your achievements, when it comes to your dreams, your career achievements and accomplishments. Please, sister, misters, don't be humble. Brag about it. You worked hard for that stuff. You worked hard for it. Say it and tell it out. So my name is Esther, popularly known, like a friend of mine would say, as Esther A. And some people will even go further and call me by my business name, which is Esther A Coaching. But Esther A is good for sure, okay? I'm a wife to a lovely, wonderful man and a mother to a beautiful, amazing, beautiful girl, okay? And when it comes to 9 to 5, I work as well because I love my job so much. I'm a compliance manager, and that job, something about my day job, it makes me feel like an undercover FBI agent. So why wouldn't you love that? I love it so much, okay? And what I'm here today to do is career coaching. I'm a career coach and personal development coach as well. And under the umbrella of my coaching company, Esther A Coaching Limited, I've been able to birth 2 other organizations. Actually, they've been standing on their own for quite some time. But in the last couple of months, I've decided to bring them under the umbrella of Esther A Coaching Limited, which is my personal development community called Bookport. Do you understand? The coach said earlier, he said, the people you move with, this is an organization that helps you change your mindset, your belief system through what? Books, podcasts. We watch movies as well. Imagine, and we read loads of articles. Like the coach said, those articles that he writes, some of those articles, we read them and we use them to bless our intellect in order for us to be able to excel in all aspects of our life, both in our career, our businesses, and also as family people. That's what we do in that community. And then Action Future is another organization birthed under the Esther A Coaching Limited for young adults, young colored adults. Now, some people will hear that and they will say, oh, is she a racist? No, I'm not a racist. I'm just very passionate about my community. We've got to grow. The Caucasians, they've been able to find their ways. When they need internship opportunities, you know where they go to? Their uncle, their daddies, their neighbors. They go to anybody because they already have that in their community. But in our community, a lot of us, we find it, we're shy of talking about it. We don't want to talk about our wins. We don't want to talk about our achievements. And the young adults suffer for that. They don't know people with the same skin color can actually succeed and excel. We can have good jobs. We can earn good pays. We can be respected in the society and in the community. We can become president, maybe potentially even become the queen and get into that house sometime. There is nothing impossible. And those are the things that I'm currently into and I'm founder of. And I'm very, very proud of this because I worked hard to be able to achieve this brag sheet for myself. A lot more to talk about, but that's not why we're here today. Let's go into why we're here today. Now, mediocre career goals. Mediocre career goals. When it comes to your career, what are your goals? Do you already have goals? This year, 2021, Esther A Coaching Limited was able to get employment for a total. We were able to achieve a total of 1.61 million pounds in employment this year. Now that changed recently, and I'm still not in good terms with my personal assistant because she made a mistake with the calculations. Only last week Tuesday we had another 71,000 employment acceptance through Esther A Coaching Limited from the things we do. So now we are on 2.32 million pounds that we achieved in just this year, 12 months in this year. And this same year, I actually took 2 months off work. I didn't do nothing coaching wise. And we were still able to achieve that goal. For those that managed to change their belief system as to what they can achieve, what they can do. There is something I say, if you're a graduate of you've taken part of any kind of academical achievement, you should not be earning low. Because I currently have people that I train that are uneducated due to one reason or the other. When you're talking about education, we all have different meaning of education. But the education, like going to university, you go college, you go university and whatnot. But this person has never been to any of that before. And as we speak right now, is on a 70K annual salary. Never been there before. But as a result of his mindset change, he accepted to change his mind, and it's now and he's even happy at his job as well. He loves it so much. Those are the things, those are miracles that we actually perform at SRA Coaching Limited. Now, when we talk about mediocre career goals, low-paying jobs. Now, why are you doing that to yourself? I said at the beginning, everything is connected, right? Everything is connected. Imagine if you're getting low-paid jobs, you probably struggled with Christmas gifts for your family this year, and your kids were looking at the other kids with those fancy gifts, and you couldn't afford it. Or now, some people talk about long January. They said there are 42 days in January. Not for me, not for my family. I'm sure not for the coach family as well, because we've been able to decide something good for ourselves. We refuse to settle. We refuse to settle with low-paying jobs. You hate your job, but you still show up. The example coach gave earlier, you see why I said I shouldn't have created the slides at all? He gave an example. He left the company, came back to the company at a higher position, I'm sure of, with a higher, better pay, and still met the same guy at the same job, and still complaining, still moaning about it. Why moan? Take action. Take action and don't settle. Jobs you're not proud of. You know what? There are different jobs in the world. Cleaning is a job. There are high-paying cleaning jobs. I was watching a show the other day, I think a few months ago, and one of the cleaners of this lady on a live TV program currently earns about $4,000 monthly. There are some of you, you're not cleaning, and you're not taking that home. And that's even, that's what we call it, we Africans, Nigerians will say side matter. You need to be able to get some good things for yourself that you deserve, but your belief system, has it changed or is still where it is? Jobs you're not proud of, fear of failure. Some of you don't even want to make attempts. You don't want to step out of your comfort zone because you're afraid to fail. Do you know how many times I have failed? Beyonce, the Beyonce we all know today, how many times she's failed before she became who she is right now? Alakija, Folorunsho Alakija became the richest woman in the world. She's an Ikorodu woman. I'm so proud of that woman. She's my media mentor. Alakija, Folorunsho Alakija, an Ikorodu woman. She unseated Oprah Winfrey as I'm not saying the richest woman in Nigeria or Africa, in the world. She unseated Oprah Winfrey as the richest woman in the world. So why do you keep giving excuses that it's your name? The Esther Oluwashino Aluko. That's my full name. Why do you still think it's your, Okechukwu Ibuoma? Why do you still think it's your name? The fear of failure. People are failing. If you do not fail, how do you know? How do you recognize success? If you do not fail, how do you recognize success? Can't do vibes. Oh, I can't do that. IT, coding. Not all IT are coding. I don't know how to code, and I can work in IT. I'm a certified business analyst. I'm a certified product owner. I'm a certified Scrum Master. I don't know how to code, but I can still work in those different career paths. The question is, who are you asking for information? Where are you checking your information? Who are you doing your research with? Who are your mentors? You see who my mentor is? I call her Big Mommy Alakija. I call Oprah Winfrey my big auntie. Yes, because they are. Those are the people I look up to. Those are the people that I look at their work. And who are the people that you look up? Who are the people you're following on the social media platforms that we keep talking about? Skin color and color misalignment. You still think it's your color? You still think it's your color? There are people, your color, 6 figures. Actually, 6 figures monthly, 6 figures annually. And you still think it's your color. There are people that would introduce themselves and your feet will become wet where you're sitting down because of how much they've been able to achieve because they changed their belief system. Because they changed their belief system. Now, be audacious. Your career is connected to everything. I said it earlier. Are you audacious as to your career decisions, as to the steps you're taking? Are you still moaning and complaining about the same job? You're thinking because you're Black, that's why? Some of you do not even look good on paper. You've spent so much money doing all these courses. I said earlier about the Caucasians. Before a Caucasian would apply for a university course or a college course, they know what they want to do with that particular certification. That's why they're going in there. So as soon as they get there, the very first couple of months, they know who they're going for internship opportunities. But a lot of my people, my colored people, you go to university to tick boxes of, I'm a student. Is that enough? Is that enough? And when it even comes to education, if you follow me on my social media platforms, you would know I have a definition of education. Education is there to bless your intellect, sister misters. Education is there to bless your intellect. It has nothing to do with what you do for employment. I said earlier now that I'm a compliance manager. Now, let me tell you what my academical background is. So my first degree is in nursing. Yay, nursing, nurses, bless them. We need them in our society. But I did nursing as well because they said I would not be able to get a job if I don't do nurses. And I wanted to become a medical doctor. Boy, because of the mindset I listened to back then, I didn't go to medical school. I went to nursing school. I finished and I discovered I wanted to become a nurse or work in the medical field because I love to care for people. Is that enough reason to become a nurse? No, it's not. I'll tell you, because that's my path. It's not enough reason. Now I care for people as well. Imagine those individuals that I help, and they're now a total of £2.32 million this year. I feel like HMRC should start to pay me tax even, honestly speaking. HMRC should start to pay me tax. £2.32 million in total of employments that they were able to secure through Esther A Coaching Limited this year. Through interview preparation, CV, their boot camps, the career change, and all these things that I managed to help them to be able to achieve. But then your belief system, has it changed? Are you audacious when it comes to your career? Your career is connected to everything, your work-life balance. I said it earlier. Some of you are still doing more, like 112 hours shift. I did nursing, like I said before. I finished and I saw this will not get me what I want because I like money. I'm a typical Nigerian Lagosian girl. I like money. And nursing would not pay me that, okay? Now, nursing is good because we need them. Please don't stop being a nurse. Be a nurse, be a medical doctor. But I knew it would not give me what I was looking for. So I went back to uni and I did international management. I finished that and I went ahead, I did my master's in project management. But look at me today, I'm working as a compliance manager with one of the, one of an international firm. Actually, the firm I work for now is American. And my team members are American. Sometimes I have to log into work at night to be able to manage them. And I love it still. I love how it makes me feel. I love talking about it. Your own structure and happiness. I told you, some of you struggled to buy Christmas gift. It shouldn't be the case. You deserve way more than you're currently getting. You deserve way more and you can do it if only you change your belief system, your businesses. Now, people run businesses and they run away from careers and they go into businesses because I don't want to listen to anybody. Do you think business would mean you don't listen to people as well? The customers are always right. Isn't that what they say? Now, for someone like me, I have a career, I have a job, I have a day job, and I have businesses. I also run a real estate company that I have. So your business, be audacious, your career is connected to your business as well. The reason I'm able to own a real estate company right now is because my job, I get good pay there. And I was able to invest in the real estate business, in my career coaching business, in my book community, in the young adult community that I run. I'm able to put that money into it before it can start generating money for me. But you don't have any of that and you want to run a successful business. You see the connection? Your relationships. You can't be happy at home when you're not getting what you're spending 20 days a week. Some of you are spending 30 days a month. Some of you are spending 20 days a month. Some of you are spending 30 days a month at work and you still can't afford all the things that you want to afford. Your ability to build wealth. Be audacious. Your career is connected to everything. If you're thinking, oh, that's my job, I'm just doing it for the sake of it. It doesn't have anything to do with what I want to become. It has a lot and everything to do with it. Your first impression as well. Remember I said earlier, a couple of years ago, a little over 10 years ago now, I found it difficult. I was on holiday in the States and I found it difficult to actually introduce myself. Is that still happening to you? You need to come out of there. For 2022, be audacious in your career because it's connected to everything. Now, steps to be career audacious in 2022. Do or do not. There is no try. I will try. I will try and look into it. My complimentary sessions, my clients know those that come to me for complimentary sessions. I attend to more than 10 clients a day. My business is still a one coach business, but I still attend, even with my day job, I still attend to more than 10 clients in a week. And then when I speak with a client during a complimentary session, a 30-minute session, I know if they're in that box of, Esther, you don't understand. I have children. I have children too. I have 3 godkids. I have nieces, I have nephews, I have a family as well. I have a husband. I'm not the husband. I have a husband I need to listen to, I need to cater for. He's the king, you know, the African mentality. He's a typical African man, my husband. I got to listen. I've got to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner all the time. And my daughter is a picky eater. So if I'm making this delicious meal, jollof rice or fried rice for my husband, my daughter is like, you know, she wants Indomie, 2 pots of food on the gas. And I still got to coach and deliver and show up. So when you say, I don't understand, are you sure I don't understand? Are you sure I don't understand? Be audacious, do or do not. There is nothing like I'll try. It's either you do it or you don't do it. You either want to remain small and settle, or you want to get out of being small and do something for yourself. Now, when it comes to that, how do you achieve that? You got to package yourself. When I talk about packaging, what do you look like on paper? What do you look like professionally? What does your professional profile say about you? I go on LinkedIn and I see profiles on LinkedIn and I'm thinking, what exactly? And the person is telling me, oh, I have only been able to earn, you know, the jobs they call me for are only 25,000 annual salary. And I don't know why they're always calling me for that, because I'm a master degree owner. Your master does not count with how you actually look on paper. It doesn't. You know, we Africans, if I put on my headgear now and my lace and my gold and everything, people will start saying, good afternoon, ma, good afternoon, sir. But if I put on my polo and I fly the polo up and I'm like, you know, sir, look at that girl. That's exactly how some of you look on paper, on your LinkedIn profile, your CV. That's how some of you look on paper. And then you're expecting them to treat you like a king when you're treating yourself like a slave. Think about it. Positioning. Where are you positioning yourself? Some people have registered. They wanted to attend this now. They promised, Coach David, I will be there to change my mindset into 2022. They are not online, no. They are not online right now. And then December next year, oh, I don't know what's happening, Coach. I'm still at the same job. My business is still not moving. My relationship is suffering. When there are meetings like this that are for free and you're not attending, you've not attended, you've not logged in to join and learn some good, valuable lessons for your life and your soul. Positioning yourself, where are you positioned? Some people still don't even have the LinkedIn profile at all. And they're looking for a job. Oh, I've been searching everywhere. Where have you searched? Tell me, where have you searched that you can't find job? Online, on Google. What happened to LinkedIn? Do you know how many jobs are on LinkedIn? Do you know how many jobs are on InFinancier? You're looking for a job within financial service institutions and you're not registered on a platform that they actually recognize for financial service institutions. Think about it. Pitching yourself. I talked about brag sheet earlier. Sorry, my time is fast spent. This is just, I talked about brag sheet earlier. Your brag sheet. When I talk about you know that time when your mom, your grandmother told you be humble, you know, you have to be respectful. She did not say career. She didn't mean your career or your business. If you don't sell your business or your career, nobody's going to do it better than you're going to do it. And if you come to me and you talk yourself into a 25,000 annual job, when I know with all your academic qualifications, you're actually worth 75,000, you think I'm going to decide just to promote you and give you that 75,000 instead of the 25,000. I will give you 25 and I will even tell you 23,500 is all we can afford for you because you did not do justice to your brag sheet. Learn how to pitch yourself. What are you doing to learn how to pitch yourself? What are the steps you're taking? Who are you speaking with? You still want that IT. IT is an industry, by the way, guys. IT is an industry. It's not a job title. There are several, if not hundreds of job title within IT. Know the specific one you want to do. Financial service institutions. People think it's only accountants that are in that industry. Sister, misters. Please think about it. Do your research. Speak to the right people. Get connected. Your network, the people you're speaking to. Package yourself, position yourself right, and pitch yourself outstandingly well. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the time and thank you for the opportunity, Coach. Thank you.
Wow, brilliant stuff. Wow, please, can I get some reaction to this? Oh, I'm seeing some comments. Well said, sis. Wow, okay. Someone said, You give me goosebumps. Okay, nice. Oh my gosh, eating the right spots. Yes. And then, yes, one of my friends commented yet saying, you're beautiful, Esther. That's good. In addition to your introduction. Oh, praise. Wow. See, this is something. Thank you so much, Esther. You know, your belief systems have a way of either setting you up for success or just causing you to just plateau and you think that's it. No, there is something more, I tell you. Sometimes even the things that we boast of to say, oh, do you see what I'm doing? There was a time my wife and I, we bought a new car. Yeah, Esther, can you stop sharing now? Yeah. Yeah, there was a time we bought a new car, very nice car, and then I drove the car to fill it up at the fuel station. And then as I got there, I saw another car. You know, under the lights of the fuel station is always bright light, and it was at night as well. I saw mine. I was really proud of mine. Really beautiful, good-looking SUV. And then another car parked beside me, and it beat my own car hands down. Now, I'm not saying, you enter into the comparison mode and all of that, but it's just to say that whatever you have now that's big or that's success in your eyes, to another person, it's just like another starting point. They have gone beyond that. So can you look forward to more? That's all we're saying. Can you expect more? And that's it. So thank you so much, Esther, for sharing that. Esther is one of the coaches I respect a lot because I have followed her from afar and I've seen certain things that she's done. And from what she said on here, pitching yourself is not bragging, guys. Talking about what you can do is not bragging. In fact, if you are a believer in God, God brags about himself. He does a lot of bragging. He tells you, I am God. There is no one like me. So what do you do? And God said you are unique. You are created unique. There is nobody like you in this world. So when you say that, you're not proud. You're just being correct. You're just being truthful. You're just being truthful. Being truthful is not bragging. Being truthful is just what you are. You're being truthful. I've got a car. That's not something to brag about. That's just it. I've got it. Okay, so please, let's change our mindset. Okay, I would have my beloved Mrs. O come up now, looking beautiful and so lovely. She's going to be talking about family. And I want us to see again another perspective, because with all of this, I want you to go with something and set certain clear goals, audacious goals, like Esther mentioned, in those areas of our lives, family and career, like we're mentioning. So I would have Elizabeth, please, if you can come up and share your screen. Elizabeth would also do our own introduction. I thank God for the wisdom that we use today. I wanted to introduce everybody before, but I thought, you know what, let everybody just introduce themselves. So Elizabeth, over to you.
Okay, hi everybody. I am just blown away already. Esther A, you killed it, sis. Well done. Thank you so much for having me, David. What can I say? So let me just start to share my screen. So I'm Elizabeth. I am, we can all see my screen, yeah? Okay, so I'm gonna be talking about don't believe small for your family in 2022. You can see a picture of my beautiful, beautiful children there. My why, our why, why do we do what we do? Because of them. Okay. About me. So I am a family life consultant here at Change with Thoughts. And I know a lot of people are thinking, what is a family life consultant? So what I do is I help families, individuals adapt to changing situations, major changes in their lives, a big move, loss, bereavement, etc., adjusting to new systems, adjusting to, a new environment, to the country, for example. So I provide them with practical support, tips, signposting, etc., to enrich their lives. I'm also a qualified social worker, okay? So I I've been in the sector for about 12 years. I've currently manage a team within Children's Services within the Greater Manchester area. So I'm still local. I also facilitate a monthly advocacy session in partnership with the Caribbean and African Health Network. We might have all heard of CAN. So I facilitate a monthly session. So it's an advocacy session where advice and support is provided to especially our, like the name says, Caribbean and African community, and especially those who've had some issues or involvement with children's services, and guiding them and talking to them through that. I'm a wife to the lovely, wonderful coach, David. I'm a mom of 3, and I love God, I love people. Again, God first. Okay, that's a bit about me. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is laying a foundation. Laying a foundation in terms of when it comes to your family, when it comes to believing big for your family and maximizing impact. Basics, I call these the basics. Love, unity, shared vision. Is there that cohesiveness within your family? And again, when I'm talking about family, I'm talking about your home team, your ride or die, your unit, your nuclear family, as it's known. A lot of us, people of color, especially the ones that I've come across anyway, in the African or in the Asian community, it's, sometimes we have our priorities wrong in terms of, I need to, and I'm not saying, don't support extended family, don't be of, support, but your family, your unit comes first. Absolutely. And a lot of people have gotten it wrong. I've heard of stories where, families have not been able to feed themselves, a husband and wife not been able to feed themselves yet, money are being sent over to relatives here, or, they're dipping into savings because, we just have to help. Well, actually, what is your priorities? You need to get that straight. When it comes to maximizing impact and believing big for your family, your first priority is to your own family, your own unit. I cannot overstate that, before your extended family. Okay, Amos 3:3, can 2 work together except they are agreed? What's that shared vision that you have as a family? I've worked with families, in my consultancy role where, the husband is going one way, the wife is going another way, and the children are in the middle, and things are, damaging the future, unwittingly damaging the future of those children. Okay? So you need to ensure that there is cohesiveness. You need to ensure that there is a fulfilled and rich family life, a quality of life for your family. Again, like I said, that is your home team. You need to make sure that you are working together. The love, the unity, the togetherness, the synergy is there. This is the basics, guys. This is the foundation. Love, shared vision. When you have division, it's because there are people going, spouses, they have different visions. You need to build together in unity. Okay. Planning for the future. I want you to ask yourself a question. What really is the big picture for your family? What do you want your family to look like in 5 years, in 10 years? If you're single, why do you want to get married? If you're thinking of starting a family, why do you want a baby? Why? What's your why? What's the motive, the intention behind that? Again, I've worked with many, many families. What legacy are you going to leave your children? We've heard of many, many stories, and I'm sure a lot of people on this platform will be able to give one story or another of, especially again in our African or Caribbean parents, where they've inherited loads and loads of debt from family. They've inherited debt, they've inherited, Esther A did just, I was like, you're reading my slides here. I talked about Aliko Dangote, and I'll go into his story very, very briefly. His granddad, I did a little search on him. His granddad was called Al Hassan Dentata. No, now Dangote is the richest man, okay, in Africa, in a whole continent. A person of color, guys, the richest man in a whole continent. Now, his great grandfather died in 1955, Al Hassan Dentata. And at the time, he was the richest man in West Africa. So Dangote obviously is, was already standing on the shoulder of giants in terms of your children should be better than you. They should be better. They should be starting from a vantage point, an advantage position, not at age 35, age 45, they can't even boast of having, stocks and investments or shares or even owning a property or earning a six-figure or earning, a substantial income. Do you want your children to be living hand to mouth? Oh, I just need to pick up this shift. I need to do this. I need to pick up this shift. I need to do this. Don't get me wrong. We're all at different start points in life, but you really need to be thinking about your future. What do you want for your family? And again, when we talk about legacy, it's not just about money. Okay, people think, oh, it's just an inheritance, money, but we don't come from money. You can create wealth. Okay, there are other things you can leave, like, a good name. You can leave wonderful and godly virtues and good values. You can instill them into your children. A lot of us on this platform, I know, are parents. Think of, some of us are bilingual, we're multilingual because, our parents taught us that, we learned that. And some of us have carried it on to our children as well in terms of learning our mother tongue. That's a legacy. And then they carry on, if you're a person of religion, Christian, the Christian faith, we inherited that from our children in terms of going to church, etc. And then we're also bringing up our children in the same fashion. Those are legacies. Okay, so when it comes to your family, don't believe small. Plan for the future. Again, like I said, what really is the big picture? What is the big future for your family? I think about, there's so many successful families out there for us, in terms of the media. I've talked about Dangote. I've talked about, the previous speaker talked about Folarin Shola, the richest Black woman. Oprah Winfrey. These are people of color. We cannot, when it comes to your family, we need to, it starts with our children in terms of reorientating them in respect of how they view the world, how they view themselves. These are the values and the things that you can teach your children from a young age. Okay, and I don't want to keep going into scripture. Teach a child in the way he should go, and when he's older, he will not depart from it. Okay? Are your children starting from a deficit? Are they inheriting a debt? We need to be mindful of that in 2022. Sit down with your spouse and have conversations, have meaningful conversations. And like I said, I cannot overstate the power of unity, the power of one, the synergy. And listen, if you are a single parent, the power of unity between you and those children, because you don't know what could happen in the future. Coach David talks a lot about his mom. Single mom, single-handedly raised 3 boys on her own, okay? Each of them all very successful in their own field, in their own right, okay? So don't think, oh, I don't have, I need somebody to help me. I need, and I'm sure, if we look into, I don't really know much about Folarin Shola, but I'm sure, Oprah Winfrey, for example, she's not married. Creating success, leaving a legacy that lasts. A good name, you can, start thinking about the future from now. Start building upon some of the, the fact that you're here means that you really care about, you know, your future. You care about your 2022 and beyond. And in order to maximize impact, you know, the tips and things that are going to be shared can help you when, you know, when you leave here. Okay? Think differently. Just because, you know, your parents went, you know, in a certain way in terms of their career or in terms of their life, you need to think, the change, the future starts now. It starts with you when it comes to your family. Think differently. No, we're not going to go in that same ride. No, we're not going to be security guards. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. We all start from different points in life, but it's our desire for more, isn't it? Teach your children that more, okay? To always be the best. My husband is always going on at me when I'm talking, even when my children start, and they know that this gets to me. Maybe when they start talking in something in a way that I call uncivilized, in terms of, you know, say certain things somehow, and I'm like, no, speak proper English, okay? Speak proper, talk well. And I pride myself in that, and my children, so they know how to get to me when they start talking in a certain way, and I'm looking at you, and you know what you're doing, and they're like, oh, mom, we're just joking. Little things like that. You're building a legacy. You're thinking generationally, okay? Generational blessings. You're thinking beyond your children, your children's children. Okay. Setting goals for your family. How do we do that? The power of decision. Let's come together as a family. Like I said, that there is no point, you know, it requires a collective buy-in between yourself and your spouse, your family unit. Okay, again, you must do all you can to protect that at all cost. Yes, we're all part of extended family, etc., and we relate, but boundaries need to be there, you know, processes and things to fortify and keep that family. Like I said, that's your home team, guys. Your whoop whoop, those who are going to be there, you know, rooting for you. Protect that at all costs. Power of decision. When I talk about that, it's not about, like I said earlier, not division. Come together. It requires a collective buy-in. You know, a spouse cannot just come and say, right, I've decided that we're going to do this from now on. I'll give you a practical example. Okay, so in our house, we said, okay, we don't allow food upstairs. Everybody eats downstairs in the kitchen, etc. And I remembered, you know, my son, he's 9, was questioning, why can't I just go to my room and you know, what's the big deal? We had to talk with the children, you know, 9, 5, and, you know, my 7-month-old. Obviously, it's a 9 and a 5-year-old that we're talking to in terms of why we're giving them reasons why we don't, you know, why we don't think it's a good idea, why we don't allow it. And they get that. Have those collective buy-in when it comes to little things like that with your children. Have those discussions, you know, again, let's do away with the African mentality of children should be heard. Children should be seen and not heard. There are places for boundaries and then places for discipline, etc. But let's have that collective buy-in. A husband cannot just decide, right, we're going to do this. We're going to invest this amount of money. Or we're going to go, you know, we're going to do this. We're going to spend from the savings. Well, actually, have we talked about it? Collective buy-in. That is your, you know, the power of decision. Then your why. Why are we, I've talked earlier about why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you want to get married, sis? Why do you want to get married, bro? Okay. Why do you want children? Why do you want to go into that line of work, that career? Why are you choosing that? Short-term and long-term planning. Again, 30 to 60 years from now, you're thinking generationally at all times when it comes to your children. It's not just about you. You're putting those foundations in. Don't get me wrong. Now you're putting those landmarks in. You're looking at investments. You're looking at, you know, opportunities to enrich your family, to enrich their future, etc. You're looking at that. You're doing it now. You're putting those landmarks in.
but think 30 to 60 years from now. Walt Disney, again, people might have their, views, but they've been going for, I think, over 100 years or so. Generationally, I read a bit about them, a couple of days ago. Generation, things passed down from generation to generation. And a lot of our, again, I know I'm going to the business side of things, but it's also family. Sometimes it's just, our businesses, it's just for me, myself, and I. The business does not go beyond yourself, because actually, what have you put in place? What structures have you put in place for that business to outlast you and to feed generations to come? Or does it die with you? And then your children, they go a separate way, they go a different way. Even if they don't want to. I know of families in my own family, my own circles, where, some people have handed over businesses, not necessarily to their own children, but to family. It's still within the family. Maybe because the children have got other paths that they're pursuing. What legacy are you leaving? What are you creating? Like I said, collective buy-in, teamwork makes the dream work. Carry people along, carry your family along. It's not about children are seen and not heard. Give them a voice, empower them, okay? Let them make their mistakes. Guide them. Spend quality time with them. Prioritize your family, your quality time. Do we want to go on vacation once or twice a year? Talk about it. Do things together. Do we want to do a staycation? Do we want to go here? Do we want to go there? Things that enrich your family life. Good communication, guys. I can't overstate this. Again, I've had, I've been involved with cases where, in my consultancy role, where, families are trying to adjust to this country, and the husband, and the way he's communicating things, it's making the wife and the children look really, really terrible. They've been involved with children's services, and some of the way information is being passed that comes across from the husband is actually damaging to the family. The husband has an ideology of how to raise children. The wife has hers. It's completely separate, and it's actually doing more damage than good, because they both can't come to a shared agreement, of a mutual agreement of how to do this. One voice when it comes to your children. It doesn't mean you don't have different views or different styles of parenting, but one voice. Togetherness. That love, that unity. You do things that enrich your, date night. I love my date night. People that know me, I date night with my husband, I prioritize it. Even when we can't go out of the house, the kids go to bed, they have a routine. They go to bed, we stay downstairs, we catch a movie, we have some Ben and Jerry's. One of our brothers said, do you guys actually have, some kind of, share with Ben and Jerry's, with the way you guys are consuming this product? I said, well, it's just something that we like to do. That's our chill time. Prioritize that, okay? And actually, when the kids leave the net, think about when you become empty nesters. You don't want to be nesting with somebody you don't know anymore, or you've lost your sense of identity or your sense of purpose. And we hear of people getting divorced after 30, 40 years of marriage, and it's irreconcilable differences, or we just don't know each other anymore, because you've poured everything out on the children, and you've done things separately, and there is no way back in terms of prioritize that. Intentional and consistent parenting approach. Again, this comes up a lot in my line of work. One spouse is saying something, the other person is saying something, or we decide to do something one day, we decide to implement this boundary one day, and then the next day we don't. It's confusing for children. It's like, well, what do we do? What do we do? What are you saying? What do you require of us? Be very clear when it comes to, boundary. Be intentional, Okay, sit down with them and watch TV. Find out what's going on in their lives. Be intentional. Again, I can go into so many stories of, children as young as 6, 7 being bullied at school. They don't know what's going on, or being abused, physically, sexually, by childminders, but by trusted people. But parents they're not reading the cues, they're not reading the signs of what's going on with their children, and just think, oh, yeah, she's just withdrawn, or she's a bit moody, or he's a bit moody. Know your child, know your spouse. But more importantly, your unit needs to be solid. In 2022, what kind of legacy are you can start putting the foundation in now. What is the big picture for your family? Are you creating generational blessings, or generational, are you leaving your children with debts? You might not have had the best start, but you can give your children a great one, and they can give your children's children a wonderful start. So thank you very much. That's my presentation done.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm arguing you from here. That was a great one. There is a lot that can be done when it comes to family and leaving a legacy. There is something I love that you shared, Elizabeth, in terms of 30 to 60 years from now. I mean, if you think about 30 to 60 years from now, imagine you are 40 years old now and you're thinking 60 years. The chances are that you're not even going to be alive then. But what you are doing is you're setting something in motion to kind of like prepare the stage so that when someone starts, when your kids get to that point, they're not just starting at the point where you started as well. They can actually just continue where you left off. I always say, I'm going to be great. I am great. The greatness has always been in motion. But my kids are going to be so great because they're not going to begin where I started from. And that's the way to think. We're thinking 70 years. We're thinking generationally. We're thinking 150 years from now. It takes a different kind of person, a different mindset to be able to sit down and say, what would life look like 150 years from now? I challenge you to try that. Thank you so much, Mrs. O, for sharing that. Thank you. I challenge everyone on this platform to try that. As you sit down and set goals, I challenge you to think. We'll be stopping in the next 10 minutes, guys. I challenge you to think, okay, you know what? What would our family look like? What would our family tree look like? We're getting out of debt so that, you're getting to a lot of credit card debt. Mortgage debt is so big that you can't control. So many things are happening. Your life looks out of control. You won't even have time. You'll be too busy sorting yourself out that you're not even thinking about generations to come. And that's not the way we should be. We should be leaving something so that we should be doing something now so that those coming after can actually say, wow, I'm grateful for great grandpa David for doing this. So that's the point we're trying to pass across with this. So we'll be rounding up shortly. And remember, we started this meeting by talking about the Exodus, the desire for freedom, the price for freedom, and then the responsibility for freedom. That's why I said we'll be rounding up. Now we've heard all these things. Esther came up and did a good job of the career side of things to say, you know what, if you need help, there is help available. There is something I've discovered about the African culture. I think maybe that's because I am so used to that. There is that thing of you don't want to feel as though you're asking for help from someone. Never feel like that. There is no point. Just get the help. Be humble enough to get the help. So if you need help, Esther is available. If you need help talking about family matters, Elizabeth is available. These are people that can help you. And if you need help on the personal development and success side of things, I tell you, I can also help you. And this is what we do. So let's talk quickly about the responsibility for freedom. I'll be looking to close this session. Thank you all so much for joining in. And we're going to be rounding up, like we said, at 2:30 UK time. And I know that you have gained a lot of value from this. Okay. the responsibility for freedom. The idea is when people are asked to go physically or are asked to go out of slavery, it then puts on them a burden, a responsibility. The slave masters used to feed them. Remember the lion in the cage, the analogy we gave previously, and the lion that was roaming free. Those who kept the lion in the cage had the responsibility to feed it, but it was subject to them. But, oh, thank you. This is time and data well spent by me. Brilliant stuff. But the idea is that lion in the cage really had no control over his future. But the lion that is free, there is a responsibility to that. And that responsibility, I think, are three things. The responsibility to dream. So now that you've been set free, no one is holding you in shackles. What do you think you can achieve now? It does not matter what other people think you can achieve. What matters is whether you think you can. May I just ask you before you drop off on this platform, because we can share a goal setup guide for you. You can just leave your email and we'll be sure to email that to you, and we'll also email you our quarterly newsletter. I'm just saying that on the side. The second thing is the responsibility to plan. The responsibility to plan. The slave master would plan and say, you know what? I want you to be on this side of my farm or this side of my estate and do this cleaning for so and so number of hours. That is what you should do. But now that you're free, it's your responsibility to plan your time. And this is where so many things go wrong. When we were growing up, our parents probably took us to primary school and say, my son, that's where you're going. You started. For high school, they took you and say, this is the high school you go to. And then the problem starts at university. You then decide your course to choose because the decision is now yours. After university, they say, yeah, you're a grown man now, go sort yourself out, but then begin to decide. The responsibility sometimes weighs on people and pulls them down. But I think that's the time. That freedom is to be used very well. Freedom comes at a price. But if you are responsible, you will pay the right price and you will win the prize. So the responsibility to plan big and become accountable regarding your achievements, to become accountable to other people, to say, you know what, this is what I said I'm going to do. This is where I am. Can you tell me, can you honestly appraise me for where I've gone wrong? Can you tell me the truth about myself? If you've got a spouse, please do that. If you've not got a spouse, find a friend you can trust or get a coach. These are the people that can help you a great deal. And then the responsibility to take action. Now, we've said so many wonderful things. I tell you the truth, words are meaningless if actions don't support them. Take action. Step out into the unknown. Ask yourself that question. Okay, like Elizabeth mentioned in our session, if you're married, ask yourself, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Where do we want to leave this? Where do we want our family to be? Where do we want our kids to be in 10 years, in 15 years? Where do we want our family name to be in 50, 60, 100 years to come? Take steps into the unknown or unfamiliar with courage. So this is so important. We must be courageous enough to take those steps and to win the prize. So at Change We Thought, thank you very much for joining this broadcast today. We love you. We celebrate you. If you've got any questions about anything that's been asked, please direct those questions to me. We would answer them personally to you. We would send you answers that we think to your inbox. We're doing that. We'll do that for free. So we would answer those things. Please don't send big questions, but please send any questions you have and we'll do that. But what we do, Change We Thought, my coaching company, is we help people increase their chances of success. We know this is a time people plan, and we kind of help them to put plans in place that we know that they can achieve, work with them with those plans through the year. So they get themselves an accountability partner to say these are the things that we can achieve, and this is where we're going to, this is how much we've been able to do. And as time goes on, we set milestones within the year so that we can be sure we are hitting those targets. We provide practical insights as well to achieve measurable outcomes. So what we do at Change With Us, we focus on moments, money, and mind. We ensure that those three areas, when we talk of moments, we're talking time. When we talk of money, we're talking cash in your pocket and making sure that your estate and your assets are there. And then also the mind as well. We focus on those three areas with all our different products to ensure that people are really maximizing their time. As I've said, please send your email address. We would take them and we'll send you a copy of a goal setup guide that I have prepared that we can help you with. If you've got any questions as well, send them through to us. You can reach us on YouTube, reach us on Instagram as well, and we'll be happy to be a blessing to you. The recording of this, I believe, is available on Facebook, because I think we are streaming live on Facebook as well. So if you want to watch it, just check David Ologmori on Facebook and you'll be able to rewatch if you want to. But everyone, thank you all so much for joining this. We know Christmas time, you are busy with family, but we do appreciate your decision to join this. The email addresses that you're providing will be used to provide the quarterly newsletters that we are planning for next year. It would help you set you on your path of success greatly and keep you on that path. And if you really want any help with anything that we've discussed today, please feel free to reach out and we'll be able to point you. Thank you so much to Esther. Esther, are you still there? Let me stop sharing this so I can see people. Esther? Yes. Esther is still there. Esther is a great coach when it comes to careers. She really blew our minds, I believe. She blew my mind anyways. But please, if you need any help career-wise, please reach out to Esther. I'm happy for you to please reach out to us. She would help you. If you need a coach for the year, please get in touch with us. We do charge, but we would talk and we'll make sure that we meet your expectations. I think what we do, and I speak freely here, it's about making sure that you get the outcomes you want. We don't just say, well, we're gonna coach you and there's no outcome to it. Yes, you can reach Esther. Esther, people asking for your contact, so you can just reach Esther. Esther, put your art in the chat box so that people know how to get in touch with you, either your email or your Instagram handle. And please follow Esther as well on Instagram, SIA Coaching, I believe.
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
Esther.A_coaching.
Yes, please do that as well. It would be greatly appreciated because we need to spread this word. We need to spread the message to so many people. So it's 2:29 now UK time. Please, if you still have a bit of turkey left, go finish it. My wife mentioned Ben and Jerry's. I tell you, maybe that's why I'm gaining a lot of weight now. We would have more date nights. But thank you, Elizabeth, again. If you want to reach Elizabeth, check out on Instagram. She makes some reels. She talks about things, family as well. I think it's Bethy O, Elizabeth?
Yeah, Bethy O. So Bethy, BETHYOOH. Bethy
Yes.
O.
So BETHYOOH. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. You can unmute yourself. Let's just say hello. I'm going to stop the stream now.
You can unmute yourself now.
Yeah, please unmute yourself. If you've not seen me in a while, I know